Three games kick off Sunday's action there. We got Tigers, Panthers, Storm Raiders, the Dogs v the Bunnies. Three interesting matchups, especially that Tigers v Panthers one with all of the Panthers boys out, earning their rest after an incredible win last night. All right, so we've got the outside backs to kick it off, and Dill Edwards is going to have to step up and carry a little bit, and so is guys like Taylor May and also Isaac Tungo. So I think very, very interesting. Do you think that they're going to be able to win this by any chance? And if you think they can, then someone like Tungo at 13,400 is a very sneaky option as a good pickup this week. And for that reason, I would probably look to select him. Someone like Latrell Mitchell is a very interesting one as well. Up against the Dogs, I can see them winning this one. Nothing by no crazy margin, but he's back now 2 games in a row. He's been there. They have won pretty comfortably in both of them. So if they can do that again, then he should be able to score 50 plus. I'd say Pap should be back this week. You look at those scores before last week, he's been dominating with 50 plus in all of them and has that opportunity to go big with the 80 plus game. So Pap's always going to be a solid one there. You see Johnson come back, and he's been scoring really well. In form at the moment, averaging 55 in his last 4 there, which is awesome. And at 13.5K, I think you can get him in there and in your squad and doing really well. Someone like Seve has scored 35 as his lowest in the last 4 games, so 12,800. He's pretty solid as well. And then you've got some guys a little bit lighter there. Aaron Shops averaging 30, which is okay. I think Isaiah Tass is probably the way you want to go. They're at 11,000 in his last few games. Really, every game but one, he's scored over 30, which has been really, really solid. And I think he can have a pretty nice game against the Dogs there. Xavier Savage as well. He has that position to himself now, a low of 33 in his last 4, which is good. So I'd be looking at him, as well as someone like Jacob Carraz, who has 2 lower scores in his last 4, but also has a 56 and a 71. So if you're looking to win this matchup, then I think he could do a good job for you. Similarly with Avarillo, but probably a little bit more consistent than what Carraz can throw out there. Robert Jennings is an interesting one, getting the center position, averaging 22 in his 1 game this year. Again, if they can do pretty well, him at 9K is an interesting one to throw in and potentially do well for your squad. And you got Jackson Paulo there with a 9K number, which I think could get you somewhere near a 30. But overall, nothing too exciting there, if we're being honest, on those couple of cheaper guys. In the halves and the hookers, we've got Damien Cook at 24,660, only playing the 28 minutes the other night. He will back up and should be playing 80, especially if it's a pretty close game. If they're up by 28, 25, 30 there, then I think he could get rested. But by that stage, if they're up that far, he should have done something pretty special to get a good score anyway. So I think Damien Cook's pretty close to a must-have. Munster is going to be pretty important this week. They really need to win this one up against the Canberra Raiders. So after his week of getting COVID, I think that he should be fine in his return and come out and have a good game. Someone like Sean O'Sullivan has played well pretty much in every game he's played. A 42 and is his lowest out of the 4. He's going to have to carry, but it does have Kurt Falls next to him, who did a fair bit of the kicking last game, even though Shawnee got the 58 there. I think you can get a little bit more value out of Kurt in this one, if I'm being honest, considering Shawnee's 21K. Burton there, 20,000. I think we could probably leave him out this week. 2 lower scores the last 2 weeks, 51 and 37 for his output. I think we can wait on him. Same with someone like Harry Grant and Jerome Hughes. I think I'd go Munster over those 2, even at that lesser price. The interesting one this week is guys like Jeremy Marshall-King, who's been super dominant the last bunch of weeks at a decent price right now. And I think if you can see him getting a 50 plus, he's probably going to be worth it. Jackson Hastings moves to the 13 role. So how many minutes he's going to play is a very interesting one to think about. Do you think it's 50 plus? And if it is, I think he can be worth it, but it's in a new role and we're not exactly sure how he's going to play. Obviously, he isn't going to be kicking much in general play, and that's a very important stat marker for these halves. So I think we can wait on him. Adam Dewey's an interesting one, 16.5K. If you think that they could do okay against Penrith, he will score pretty well. And I think he can do a good job. Cody Falls, a player I'm looking at putting in my side, 56 last game. He did really, really well, and he's fairly cheap. So he's a good one to play. Mitch Kenny, we know what he can do in a number 9 position when Appy's away. So Mitchie, the one to think about there, 43 when that happened last time. So anything around that marker, and he's going to be good. You got Falmanu Brown, who's been scoring pretty well, that low 30s, which is great. Anyone down below, I'm not too interested in. Move to the forwards just to finish off this video here. We got Joe Offengawe, who's been super the last bunch of weeks, a 45 is his lowest in his last 6, so pretty safe to come out and do pretty well. Cam Murray won't play in this one. We've got Joey Tarpany, who's pretty close to a must-have. Has had some incredible scores. A 58 is his lowest in his last 6, so at 21,000, I think he should be the most expensive guy in this list, and I think you get him at a slight discount there, which is great. If we're moving lower, someone like Hudson Young continues to score really well, along with Adam Elliott. So those, a mix of those two guys, I think could be great in your side. Colin Matangi, also a solid one, but Adam Elliott, the only worry there is that he's playing off the bench, that 50-ish minutes, but he has continued to score really well. Tavita Totola continues to be a great option for anyone's side. Another 45 on the weekend, so averaging just over 50 in that last 3. You got Tommy Burgess, who's been okay as well, but 2 great scores in a row. So if you think he can keep that up, then he's obviously going to be good as well. I'd stay clear of Luke Garner this week. Matt Eisenhuth is the 13,000 marker. He should be scoring over that 30 mark. It's just weird with his minutes as to how many he gets on a regular basis. We see Chris Smith move into the starting side for the Panthers there, and we can see a decent score out of him if he gets some big minutes, but we're not exactly sure if that's going to come or not. And then we've got guys like Polle. I think you can hold off on him. They have an extra forward back. He has scored pretty well the last few weeks, but at 11.7 now, that's a little bit more expensive, and I think you can leave him off your list there. Tui Kamakamika had that one low game, and I think you can select him again. There's obviously plenty of options in this one, guys, so take your pick as who you want to go with. Low 30s you can expect from Tuolangi at 10,900. You got Raymond Fatala Mariner, who should be able to get a mid 30s to a 40 again at 10,000. And then you got Matamua, who's an interesting one. He gets the start on the edge for the Tigers, and we know that the edges on that left side especially get pretty decent scores if they can get some good minutes. So a 9,700 number for him. I think he can show that he's going to be pretty well worth it this week on Sunday. So that's your picks for the week, guys. Head into that description, hit that sign up link or that play button, and get cranking there on Draftstars for your Sunday afternoon of footy. There'll be 3 games of action. I wish you all the best of luck, and we'll see you in the next video.